Simon, a pretty gritty performance tonight. You must be pretty pleased to come away with the win against a really good up-and-coming side.
Yeah, really good. I thought we got back to the way we'd normally defend, and we were pretty disappointed after our Collingwood game before the bye in that phase of the game. And I thought against a really strong offensive team who are in form with some pretty dangerous players, I thought we defended in the right manner, and we got our rewards on the back of that.
You had to show a fair bit of resilience throughout that game. Goody, given that you lost 2-4 going into it, was that one of the most pleasing aspects, the fact that they stood tall when they were tested like that?
Yeah, I think if you look at our games throughout the whole of the season, there's been periods where we've had to reset, stay calm, find a way to get a victory, and a lot of our games haven't been big wins. They've been narrow wins and wins where we've had to grind our way to victory, and that's just the way we play. It's the Melbourne way, and I was really proud of our players, the way they went about it, especially the defensive side. I thought we won contests well, and we started to get some forward half dominance back in our game. So this was a big uplift from the previous game against Collingwood, and we can take a big step forward on the back of that.
Must have been happy with Hibberd's game, Simon. Like Stringer got going a little bit late in that first quarter, but after that, Hibberd really seemed to get the better of him.
Yeah, look, Jack Stringer's in great form and he's pretty dynamic. And early in the game, especially late in that first quarter, he started to get some real corridor ball use going for him. And I thought Hibbo did a great job. After quarter time, I thought he started to really nullify his influence on the game, and was a big reason why we were able to start to get some real forward half dominance in the game. So I thought Hibbo's game was strong, especially after quarter time.
Merritt and Parrish obviously racked up the touches, but a lot of them sort of seemed to be more on their defensive half. Was that sort of pleasing in that sense that they couldn't really sort of attack that much, those guys back there?
Yeah, well, that was one of our discussions throughout the week as a group as coaches is, they're two quality players. They spend a lot of time in the midfield and they get a lot of possession. We're quite happy for them to get possession in those areas of the ground. Our ability to defend certain areas of the ground was the key to our game, and we wanted to make sure that we held our structure and knowing that they were going to get touches, and they did. But our ability to rotate through the middle of the ground and defend a certain way was really strong, and that method proved right. But they're two quality players that do get plenty of possession.
Simon, did you have to address a lot during the break after that Collingwood game, or was it more just reiterating what you've done well in the first half of the season?
I think it was a combination of both. We wanted to really celebrate the position we were in. We're 11-2 and we'd done a lot right, from where we'd started at the start of the season. But there were just some elements in our game and the way we were going about our footy that weren't quite to the level as we head into the break. And it was a great chance for the players to reset themselves. And they had some really fruitful discussions around what they wanted to stand for again and how they're going to continue to move forward. And that was led by our leaders with Goodwin and Vines and the boys, and I thought they responded really strongly tonight, and I think what they see in front of them is a great opportunity, and they know they're going to have to continue to build a certain way of playing, and they're going to have to continue to do it week after week and make sure it's competitive every week, every time they step out there. So tonight was one of those games where they had to grind away and they got the result.
There's obviously sorry, you go.
I'm just saying there was some critics when you invested so much money in sort of Jake Lever and Stephen May as two players behind the ball. But how satisfied are you with sort of the way they're able to impact games? Just and sort of to control the back line, which is probably which is the best in the AFL right now. How much of a weapon are those two players for you?
Oh, they're really important. If you look around the best teams in the competition, they have great key backs, and the investment that the club put in that was really clear. We wanted to build from the back half, make it really reliable in the way we defend, and Stephen May and Jake Lee have been amazing. They've come into the footy club. It took a little bit of time for them to get cohesion in the way they played, but right now they're a formidable pair, and they certainly stiffen us up behind the ball. There's no question about that.
There was no Wiedemann or Brown, obviously. Simon, how did you sort of see the forwards set up? And what have those two guys now got to do, perhaps, to try and get a gig in there?
Yeah, I've said this a bit. They just need to be in form. We're really open-minded to how our forward line structure works. I thought the forwards today, they had opportunities. There's no question about that. We probably weren't as accurate as goals we would have liked, and I think, but we still took 14 marks inside 50. So we'll continue to look at our forward half, how we get efficiency into our forward 50, but also pressure and intensity in that area of the ground. But for those two, it's really simple. Just get yourself in really good form and there'll be a spot there for you. So that's the way we're looking at our team at the moment, and it's really healthy.
I don't think centre bounce clearances are probably one of your strengths this year, but I think you broke even tonight and outscored them from centre bounce. Was that sort of pleasing? Is that sort of bucking the trend a little bit?
Oh, it's an area of the game that we're working really strongly on. We think we've got the weapons to be able to maximise that area of the ground. But one thing's to win clearance, the other thing's to score from it. And tonight, we were able to do that, and that was really pleasing.
How much does he find sort of the tempo for that in the midfield? It looked like there was a couple of times, particularly in that third quarter, when he really just set the tempo with his physicality in there, and a couple of centre clearances and helped you win a couple clean. How much does his return sort of help with that centre clearance situation?
Is that Viney you're talking about?
Yeah.
Look, Jack, that's what he brings. He brings an intensity to our game. We have missed him. He brings a tackle and a toughness to our group that's really permeates through our group, and he inspires them. And I don't think he had enormous game time tonight, but what he gives us is high quality. And he's a really important player for us. He's a leader, and he plays the right way.
How do you handle? Sorry, you go, Sam.
I just say, what did you learn from round 3 against Toby Green, which you can take in next week? I think that game really sort of ignited his season.
Yeah, put a good player on him. He's pretty dangerous. He's very crafty. He can play tall and small, and he'll take up a lot of our planning this week as we head towards GWS. He's a high quality player, but the learning is that we're going to have to play really well to get on top of him.
Could Hibbo be the man?
Oh, look, haven't really thought too far yet, but Hibbard, variety of different guys, May, whole range of guys could play on him.
How do you handle Nathan Jones from here, Simon? Obviously, the sub tonight, didn't get a run. I'd imagine probably have a training session or so tomorrow. Can you go 2 weeks in a row as a sub and potentially not play, or would he really need to go back straight to the VFL next week and have a bit of a run?
Oh no, Nathan will get a full game tomorrow. So he's actually in really good form and was really close to selection. So he was the sub tonight, but he'll play in the VFL tomorrow. So he'll get a full game tomorrow. So that puts him right in the frame again for next week. And if he doesn't get in the team, there's a good chance if he keeps his form, he'll be the sub again. So he's a player that's worked his game into a really good position and is available and is playing well enough to play AFL footy. So his time will come.